What do other mayors think about the government's proposal, those in regions with state houses? We're joined on the phone now by New Plymouth Mayor Andrew Judd. Thanks for being with us again, Andrew. It's nice to talk to you. There is a state housing stock in Marfell in particular that's empty. What do you think about this idea?
Well, my first comment is I actually find it quite appalling and embarrassing, actually. It resonates things like let them eat cake to me, because from my perspective, you're actually dangling carrots in front of the most vulnerable people. Because what's the basis of your planning behind this? To take somebody out of this one place to another without good jobs, without family, without the care that they're going to need once the money runs out. It seems like some kind of sugar rush hit to solve a problem by potentially creating another bigger problem, John.
Can we look at the general then, the issues you've raised? Because you are absolutely familiar with the stuff that has been discussed far and wide over the past couple of weeks, and that is that there is a crisis in Auckland in particular, not only Auckland, but in larger numbers here, obviously. People sleeping in cars, people paying huge amounts of money to live in really basic accommodation. Money they have to borrow from WINZ and repay to WINZ, and these are people who are already financially desperate. There is overcrowding, there is a lack of housing. What is an appropriate response in these circumstances?
So my challenge back to the government is a greater urgent focus on the regions to incentivise employers to move out of that hotspot of housing. I mean, the biggest thing people are going to want, of course, is security. That comes with a good job, good schooling, safer environment, and of course the housing is an aspect. But the magnitude of the challenge that Auckland's facing, to me, won't be fixed by dangling a small sugar hit to these people. Yes, it may have a short-term fix, but long-term, there's really no strategy. What happens when the money runs out and they're homesick for their friends and whānau back in Auckland and they leave? Are they going to be bound somehow? They have to stay here? I don't know. It just seems to me a short-view solution to a massive challenge that we all face. Let's get together, though. As I say, look, get some of those employers out into the regions like New Plymouth or around the country and truly fix this as a country.
So the idea of getting people out of Auckland is not necessarily a bad one. It's just that the way to do it is create jobs and meaningful long-term incentives in the regions.
Exactly right, John, so that we actually fix this together for a long-term fix. I just feel that this is just it seems to me a reactionary way of waving $5,000 in front of vulnerable people. I just find that really not the solution. I'm actually quite appalled. I think it's, as I say, what comes to mind is just let them eat cake.
We've spoken about the general. Can we speak about the specific? And that is the housing stock in Marfell. There are some empty properties in Marfell. What would it be like to move there and live in that state housing stock that you have in New Plymouth if you've come from Auckland on this scheme?
I live quite close to the Marfell stock, and it's actually been run down. It's tired, so you don't think you're coming to something that's flash and new. There are challenges within that stock. I don't know offhand. I'd have to check, though, what the numbers are with waiting lists here in our own province. I haven't got those in front of me. But once you move there, you're going to be in a place that you're not used to, you don't know. Imagine how insecure that's going to make you feel.